Hello, school counselors and school counselors to be. Thank you guys so much for coming to my channel, The Inspiring School Counselor. And today, you guys, we're going to be getting into just the differences that I have seen from going from my old school district and the school level that I was working with to my new school district and just the school level that I'm working with now. Now, I do want to let you guys know I am still in the elementary school setting. However, the grade levels that I serve is so much different than what I've done before. So when I first started, I was with pre-K through second grade, but now I have transitioned into this new school where it is pre-K through fifth grade. You're going to be seeing me look down because I have my laptop right here. It has all of my notes all laid out for me because y'all do not want me to be just going off the top of my head because this video will be everywhere. So the first thing that we're going to focus on is just the changes that I've seen within the school district as a whole. So one thing that I have noticed, and I really do love that we have this, is that we actually have, and the title is not a school counselor supervisor. She's actually the director of student services, but school counselors are underneath her umbrella. She is one that will come out to the school and she sits down with us. There has been numerous times where she would just come to help answer every question, check up on me, especially me being the new school counselor. And so I really do love that because in my old school district, it was morely us just calling around, like the school counselors calling around to each other and kind of just getting help if needed. Another thing that I noticed district-wide, you really could tell the initiative that they really try to take for us to advocate for our role as a school counselor, really just get the word out about what we do. And I really do love that because in my old school district, it was morely you advocating for your role at your personal school. It wasn't like a district-wide type of thing. And I really do think that has a lot to do with our director of student services and us being underneath her umbrella, as well as she was also a former school counselor and she was also a former administrator. So I think that really does have a great role to be played in that. Everybody as a whole just try to really advocate our role as school counselors and what it is that we should be doing, what we should not be doing. And it makes my job a whole lot easier because I know being in my old school district, it was just different. But I do want to say, I'm glad for the school counselor that was there before me and also my administrator when I first came in that was just really open, and even the new administrator that came in when I was there my last year, because they really listened and they really tried to protect, my time and my role as a school counselor. One of the things that I noticed about both of the school districts that I've worked in is that there was school counselor collaboratives that was going on. Now let's get into the last thing that I want to cover as far as district wise and what I've seen the differences of is that I noticed that both districts are welcoming and made me feel a part of the team, and that is so true. I have nothing bad to say about my old school district because they really made me feel welcome, and also this new school district has really made me feel welcome. Hey you guys, so another thing that I left out that I did not realize, as far as between both of the school districts, we do get school counselor money, and that money is used to spend on like any lessons or furniture that we might want to add to our classrooms, or even getting things for the students. So like, for instance, I did the school store, so I was able to buy like reward toys and things like that for the kids. I noticed when I was in my old school district, we got $1,000 of school counselor money, but in my new school district, we only get $295. So with that, that is like a big cut. And so still yet just learning how to maneuver that. Even with me trying to implement the school store here, I had to reach out to a lot of different businesses to get donations. So I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. Let's start talking about the school, all right? So my old school was pre-K through second grade. My new school is pre-K through fifth grade. So of course, it's a big difference. So I'm really going to focus on like what it looks like physically to now getting into like the things that I'm doing. So for one, The building that I've noticed in my new school district is very old. I think it was built in like 1958 or 1950 or something like that. Versus my old school was built in the 2000s, so it was fairly new, and you just got that really good, fresh smell, if that makes sense. Okay, so that is something that I do actually miss, is just that fresh smell. But however, even though we have that going on in my new school district with me being at an older building, how many know it really doesn't matter about the building? It matters about the people that you work with and the students that you are serving. And I cannot say anything bad about it, because let me tell you, they are wonderful. My old school district, they were wonderful as well. One thing that I did notice in my new school district is that we have more diversity in the school environment. And so there's a lot of people that I see: Black students, I see white students, I see Mexican, I see Arabic students, Indian students. So I really love the diversity, because at my old school, I was like the only Black person that was on the faculty and staff. And then there's like maybe a handful of students that was maybe mixed, some students that were Hispanic. But, it wasn't a whole lot of diversity versus this school. Now, talking about the diversity and the students, we have about 500 students at my new school versus my old school was about 400 students. So, I mean, it's not really too much off of each other. Once again, I am the only school counselor at this school, so that's what they both have in common. That's something that I am used to. However, it wouldn't hurt to have another school counselor, because let me tell you guys, the workload and the things that you have to do, it can be overwhelming. But that's why it's so important for you to just voice the things that you can do and you can get done, and don't stress over the things that you might not be able to get to. But always stay open and talk to your administrators about what's going on, so that they can have some grace for you as well. Another thing that I would like to point out in regards to the school is that there's actually sport teams. So they have a basketball team. Now, at my old school, we did not have any type of sports teams like basketball or anything like that. So I really do love that we have like a sports team, and you're able to go to the games and just root on the students, and they even invite you to the games. So I really do love that. This is something that I wish that my old school had. And even though it was pre-K through second grade, but still you are dealing with some, just as serious behaviors. And so we actually have at my new school an ISS room, a classroom. And so what ISS stands for is in-school suspension. So whenever you have students that are being disruptive, poor decisions, and they're treating others with disrespect, then you can send them to the ISS room. And so there's a teacher that's in there, and they'll have to be there and do their work. I really do love that we have that room, because at my old school, we did not have something like that. And so a lot of the kids, they would just, feel like they could get away, or, it's okay to act the way that they're acting because they feel like they're not going to be disciplined for it. And so that is something that, I wish that we did have at my old school. So coming into this new school and realizing that, oh my gosh, there's an ISS room, that is like so good. And a lot of times I do want to point this out, is that the answer a lot of the times is not sending the kids home when they are not doing what they're supposed to do. Remember, the kids want to go home. They want to be home because most of the time their parent let them do whatever it is that they want to do. The kids don't want to come to school anyway. So when you can still set forth that discipline and allow them to still be at school at the same time, that makes things even better. All right, just in my personal opinion. Another difference between both schools is my office setting. So at my new school, I'm in an office setting. I am not in a classroom like I was at my old school. And I'm going to tell you guys, if I had to choose whether I wanted to be in an office or in a classroom, I think I would choose being in a classroom, just because, for one, when the kids came to me at my old school, they were in my environment, and they were, it was just my environment, my rules and how I want things to be ran. And I'm not saying at all that the teachers don't give me that that way to be able to do that, because they definitely do. But it's nothing like when you're in your own space and you have everything that you need. Right now, because I'm in an office setting, I have my card that has everything that I need for that class. And, hopefully I don't forget anything, because if it is that I do, which I have done before, I would have to run all the way back to my office, get it, and then come all the way back. And so we're losing a lot of class time. And so if I had to choose, I would choose being in a classroom over an office. But however, at the same time, I have nothing to complain about, because I love my office. If you guys have not watched that video that I posted, you definitely want to go and watch that. You guys can see my whole office setting. Another thing that I noticed is that the technology that we use to communicate with parents. One of the things that I really loved about my old school is that the whole school was on a universal platform that we used to reach out to parents and getting events and things to go out to the parents that was happening in the school. So I noticed coming into my new school is that everybody's kind of doing their own thing. And I do want to say we are going to roll out, and everybody is going to be on one platform. So I'm excited about that. I think that's supposed to roll out next year. But for this year, I have noticed where when I want to get things done, or get things to parents, it's a little bit harder. So I've really been trying to push out, get the word out to, the parents, to the students, so that they know that this is what we have going on. So now we're going to be getting into fair share responsibilities. You guys, it's a non-school counseling task. One of the things that I am so glad, which I did not mind doing at my old school, but it was still a whole lot, and it was definitely a non-school counseling task. I do not have to go to truancy court for my students, okay? That was something that I had to do at my old school, and I would have to keep up with attendance and all of that stuff like that. And even though at this new school, I don't have to go to truancy court, I still do have to keep up with attendance, but it is definitely nothing compared to what I was doing at my old school. And so I really do love that the load has lightened up a whole lot based off of what I used to do, but definitely not having to go to truancy court. I'm so happy about that. So this year, as far as for fair share responsibilities, the only things that I have is doing morning car duty. I don't have to worry about lunch duty or afternoon bus or car duty, which I'm so happy that I don't, just because my schedule is just all over the place with me scheduling classes. I have to have that time to not only prepare lessons and to teach lessons, but also for meetings that I need to make sure that I do, whether it's 504 meetings or parent meetings. Sometimes it's where other organizations reach out to me because they want to meet with me so that they can try to bring programs within the school. And so there's just a lot of things. And so I'm so happy that I don't have to worry about having all of these different duties throughout the day, as far as like lunch duty, afternoon car and bus duty, because it just really takes time. And also at the end of the day, I'm able to really just settle down, do my check-ins and my checkouts with my students, and I'm also able to put in my use of time. And so that's what I like to do at the end of the day. So every morning I do have to do morning car duty, and it's like from 7:15 to 7:50. So I do that Monday through Friday. So I would take that any day. So let's get into some more duties. So I am the 504 case manager. That's what I've done at my old school, and I'm still doing it now, where I am the case manager. However, one of the things that I did not have to worry about doing at my old school was doing a functional behavior assessment, which is also called FBAs. So one thing that I did notice is that we do not have a behavior interventionist in the school district that I'm in. So I really do miss having that, because now I have to figure out how to do FBAs, and I actually have to get ready to do one on a student. And so I've been reaching out to like other counselors and different ones to kind of help me with that process. However, I'm not going to shun away from it. I do feel like it's really good for me to learn and to know, because that also gives me another piece to talk to you guys about here on the channel. And also, I do have to do behavior plans. I also had to do behavior plans at my old school, but it was only if the behavior interventionist could not be there or something like that. And so I would have to take it on. But other than that, I didn't have to worry about it. But at my new school, I am over the behavior plans as well. Another thing that I am over is student ambassadors. And y'all, I am so happy that I'm doing student ambassadors this year. I thought about doing safety patrol at my old school, and then hopefully that would go into like maybe implementing student ambassadors or something like that. But I just never got it off the ground because I was intimidated by it because I didn't know what all it entailed. Now that I'm at this school and I have it running and it's going, it was actually my 5th grade students, and the teachers pick them out and they do different things around the school, as well as I do leadership small group with them. And so I'm able to talk to them about just how to be a good leader, and so that they can obtain leadership skills that they can use throughout their life. And so I'm really happy about that. I'm still the DCS case manager, but I noticed that I don't really have to be the only one to put in a DCS referral. At my old school, all DCS referrals had to go through me, but in this school district, I don't have to be the only one to put in the referral. Yes, they have to still give it to me, but if it is that they need to put it in, they will put it in. And so I really do love that because that helps lighten the load off of me. I've noticed this year that I actually had to do some assessments on students. And so I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Brigant scale, but it's something that is used for, I guess, kindergartners, and kind of get them assessed and see where they're at. That is something that I have to do, as well as I do ADHD screeners and I do the autism spectrum screeners. And y'all, these are things that I've never done in my life. So I wanted to just show you all the different assessments that I have been asked to do, just to give you guys more of a visual. So the Brigance, which is the one I just got finished talking to you guys about, I had to do this with my kindergarten students that did not get screened for this at the beginning of the school year. And so there's questions that they ask you. These shapes go with this as well. And so I'm just going to give you guys just kind of like a idea. This is what it looks like. You have to ask them like, what color are the blocks? What color are the balls? And so the next one that I was asked to do was the autism spectrum rating scale. And I have not done this yet on the student that was requested for me to do because I'm still learning it. So, but I'm going to be doing this with the student pretty soon. I had a chance to talk to the school psychologist as well. And so she's going to kind of, hopefully she can help me with it if there's anything that I don't understand with it. But that's another one. And then I had a teacher reach out to me wanting me to do this on a student because they just noticed some behaviors that the student was having. And so, yeah, you guys. So these are the 3 thus far that I have been asked to do. I'm sure that there's more assessments, but I just haven't been asked to do it yet. But I just wanted to show you guys these. I can talk to you guys more about that if you guys want to know more about that. But y'all, I'm still learning and trying to figure those things out. I actually do have an autism spectrum screener that I still have to do on a student. And so I want to be getting ready for that. But I can't diagnose them with autism or with ADHD. But all I can do is just, do the screener to see what kind of behaviors that they have. And then the parents are able to take that to their doctors, and so that they can see what we're seeing at the school level. As far as for outreaches, I don't have to do safety day. That's something that I did at my old school, but I don't have to do now. And we don't have like the Masons usually, reach out to me at my old school so that they can give shoes. I don't have to do that as of right now. Unless something pops up, that's not something that I have to worry about doing. So that is something that is different for me. And I don't have a clothing closet that I usually keep up with at my old school. Now that I'm at my new school, it's in the teacher's lounge, and the teachers and different people just put things in there and they get things for students as needed. So that's all that I have for you guys today. I wanted to just share with you guys some differences of what I noticed from my old school district to my new school district. And you guys, to be honest, I'm sure there's going to be some more things that I can tell you guys about as the year goes on. But this is just what I have thus far. I thank you guys so much for coming to my channel, The Inspiring School Counselor. If you guys have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. I'll see you guys next time.